I'm here today with my 2 roommates, my brother and my best friend. That one's Brian. The other one's Michaela.
I was worried that I was going to get roasted.
And today we are doing RWBY presentations. We each made one, but we are not presenting our own. So first up is Brian presenting Michaela's presentation. He has no knowledge going into this.
You're welcome. This is a gift that I present to you.
RWBY. Evil to smoke show pipeline. The phenomenon. If you have a person evolved to villainy, they will get hotter. This is indisputable and actually one of my real thoughts. So here we go. Exhibit A. Raven. Raven is morally gray from the start, but then she tries to kill some kids, and wow, mommy, that's a baddie. And you could see here the scene with speech bubbles representing the exact turn of events that happened here, and also Michaela's use of the English gray. Exhibit B. Tyrion. Upon introduction, who is this tits in the wind acrobatic motherfucker? But then his evolution, becoming a batshit crazy tongue villain BDSM daddy.
You don't know the efforts I went to for some of these screenshots.
I'm sure you were happy watching it. Exhibit C, Salem. Now you could see here. I was watching left to right the evolution there. But you could see the evolution from ape to baddie, and also in this case, Salem from being like a solid 6 out of 10 through to an actual baddie, Deep V Mommy, in the, I believe, season 7 finale? Oh, here we go, yeah, a summarization. Below what you see is actually not a meme, that's a live reaction of me watching the season 7 finale there. But yeah, I'm a sweet pretty princess uwu to total baddie up in here. Exhibit D. D, of course, standing for daddy. Not the only time Ironwood will be referred to as a daddy in these presentations. Spoiler.
Oh no.
So as we start here, we see a clean-shaven, generally upbeat Knight of Atlas, a man who has a moral compass. And then, here he is shooting civilians, murdering everybody and being kind of a fascist. But, here he is being really hot, which you can tell because he grew a beard out. In conclusion, if you look at the pipeline of Naughty to Hottie, that is proportionally and directly linearly related to how evil someone is. And that's my presentation.
Similarities between RWBY and Seinfeld, or alternatively, what if we had Team...
Oh no.
Jerry, George, Elaine, and Kramer?
Yeah.
Okay, how would you pronounce that? What would that...
I would think Jek or Jagek. They only have one vowel to work with.
Yeah.
You say Gek, it's kind of like a color. It's green, right?
Yeah. We'll work on it. We'll flesh it out a little. Perfect. For protagonists, most shows go for a trio, or once it's above 3, an ensemble cast. Each world has a neutral group, neutral good, and chaotic neutral. RWBY is Jerry, the titular hero. And visually, the similarities are uncanny. Similarity 1. Deadliest weapons. Now, RWBY's scythe is a dynamic piece of a killing machine. I mean, you have a long-range rifle and a scythe. I mean, she uses it in her semblance as well. And so does Jerry. His semblance is just really breaking down a person's moral foundation. Similarity 2, humor as a coping mechanism. Yeah, that's true. She's losing that humor coping mechanism, but maybe she'll rally. Similarity 3, fan of the youth. Oh man. No. She is kind of trying to fuck Oscar, though. I mean, here's the thing.
No!
Wait. I have to make an argument for RWBY at the very least. There probably wasn't an immortal being stuck into that 17-year-old girl's body. Maybe RWBY's playing the long game for Osmond, She's there. So, yeah. I mean... Okay, moving on to Yang as George, also known as the closeted gay comic relief. Which is true for both. Although closeted anymore. Who's to say? Similarity 1, connection to the protagonist from childhood. Look at them, bonding in that locker room. I wonder what else they shared in those hallways. Similarity 2, you won't like them when they're angry. George is getting upset. Yes, I can hear him. It's true, he's a feisty little fellow. I think Yang has some height on him. Similarity 3, character focuses on hair or lack thereof. Yes. I don't have anything. Blake as Elaine, the same diversity hire. Yeah. That's... I mean, she really... When she took that bow off, and you're like, oh my god, she's a faunus. And when Elaine walked in, you were like, oh my god, it's a woman. Hair denotes change in season. True. For the better on both of them. The bob cut killed it on Blake. And when she got rid of the hair bonnet, really sex appeal went up on that one. Diversifies the squad while still keeping it notably white. Oops. Similarity 3 comes with a himbo supporting character. What a man's though, right? Look at this hunk. He is 6'2"? Hells yeah. And Sun is just piece de resistance of the show. I mean, Weiss as Kramer, what's that supposed to mean? Yeah, they're bringing something individually. Weiss is an heiress, and Kramer, I mean, he doesn't work, so there's really no saying that he isn't a Nepo baby. Similarity 1, intense connection to their last name. Oh, okay. I now am officially convinced he is a Nepo baby. Physical comedy.
Start getting stabbed.
Yeah. I will say, I think most of these were on Weiss. Kramer seems like he is in his element, but Weiss, I mean, she really turned her back on that rod. Similarity 3, let me think. 10 out of 10, very hot people. So, similarity in the setting. First 3 volumes of RWBY take place in a populated city about to befall tragedy, much like the 90s in New York City. Yeah, you can feel this lurking, Despite the city's population, they run into the same people over and over. Also very true. You'd think during the war, you'd outrun them. The villains, right, so I'm following. You have the clown episode, the theater one, and that's the same character as Salem for a couple of reasons here. Exhibit A, obviously, they're pale. There's a physical resemblance that we're seeing. Also, just pure destruction. They are a culmination of they want to see chaos in the world, and they will be the facilitator of that. Is Cinder an outlier here? Because I'm not seeing a physical connection on this screen, but there could be one there. Coats, I'm seeing we got great coverings. Or are the heroes the villains? Wow. Ironwood willing to kill people for his cause, and Jerry willing to throw them under the bus for his own self-preservation. Because really, it's just about preserving yourself. And maybe Ironwood had some points. A city in the sky is held to a higher standard. George is held to a higher standard. Volume/season 4, the tone shift. Oh, wow. Seinfeld incorporates more two partners and running plots. They're writing a sitcom within a sitcom storyline. Very meta, very meta. RWBY undergoes animation change and major tone shift. Bye bye Beacon, hello Salem. We go from, oh man, this guy's bullying me because I got bunny ears, to, oh no, the world's on, brink of extinction. And Seinfeld just gets funnier. So RWBY's use of World of Remnant miniseries is the same as Jerry's stand-up segments. Dumping info that should have just been included in the main story to begin with. What am I looking at?
A miniseries they put online that just info dumped about things people were still confused about.
Oh, so them covering up their plot holes.
Precisely.
They created.
Yes.
I got you. Oh, I see. You're comparing it as a filler to Jerry's stand-up, which is terrible. Both seem ambiguously funded by DC. How have both Jerry and Ruby met Superman? Wow. I didn't know that Jerry met Superman. That really only solidifies how important he is as a person. But the Justice League X RWBY movie, gotta see that. I really want to know how I'm honestly curious how they've put Jerry and Ruby in the Superman world. In conclusion, RWBY is Seinfeld. You have 4 just dripping in sex characters. Seinfeld. And a bunch of teenagers trying to save the world. And that's the same thing.
Bravo.
Yeah. Top 5 ships in RWBY. I am curious what Naruto and Sasuke are doing here. Although the tension in that screenshot is quite palpable. What is a ship? Oh god. Formally, Oxford Languages describes a ship as a vessel larger than a boat. Okay. For transporting people or goods by sea. That's a physical ship, but we're about to find out what that has to do with shipping. Informally, it also includes the definition. Any boat, especially a racing boat or a spaceship. Okay, so this time though, I do think we are going to find out what this has to do in media. Yes. Wait. Okay, never mind. So for the purposes of this presentation, we will be using the disambiguation. A vessel larger than a boat for transporting people or goods. Top 5 ships in RWBY. Now, am I presenting them as like mine or yours? Who's the my? Me. Okay, so I guess these are my top 5 ships now. Okay, so the Menagerie passenger ship. I mean, it's a beautiful boat if you think about it. One of the only vehicles that falls under the formal Oxford Languages definition of a ship. Functionally a passenger ship, but comes equipped with badass anti-grim grade artillery. Exactly. It's one of the best ships in terms of preventing grim attacks. Captained by a stone-cold Silver Fox daddy, who I would let mishandle me as bad as the writers mishandled the entire Faunus arc. Yeah, I guess that's a ship. Whale, ? It counts. People get transported inside of it. Has a bridge, quarters, launch pads, and is flying by the power of dust. Who knew? So yeah, this counts as a ship, and it is a good one, but not as good as the top 3, which are better than the whale, which is 4. Probably the only top 5 RWBY ship with sentience, meaning it can definitely have a space whale anxiety, despite it being a vehicle by most standards. That's interesting. We don't talk about how the whale feels about having people inside of its mouth. Who knew this would also be captained by a stone-cold Silver Fox mommy, who I would let step on me the same way Rooster Teeth stepped on 13% of its active workforce in the 2019 layoff. The Elysian airship. I'm surprised that's not higher. These airships are some of the longest appearing vehicles in RWBY. What a fun fact. I love that. Okay. Armed with several powerful dust laser batteries capable of firing accurate precision strikes. That sounds pretty badass, actually. Able to carry dozens of airships inside a large hangar, and actually a collaborative creation between the Elysian military and the Schnee Dust Company, making this plot a plot vehicle as well as a regular vehicle. A lot of vehicle going on. Okay. Yeah. Though somewhat indeterminate in size, the airships are large enough act as an entire set piece when Neo and Torchwick commandeer one near the finale of Volume 3. Furthermore, the systems in these ships have to be pretty advanced, as Torchwick is able to command the ship and its deployed forces by himself. That is true. The ships are also visually stunning and somewhat intimidating, apparent in their usage as a blockade scene between the transition from Volume 6 to 7. They're also commanded by... Okay. They're also commanded by a stone-cold Silver Fox Zaddy until his inevitable power trip and fall from grace, paralleled by the fall of the Elysian Air Fleet. I will now share 3 more never-before-shared facts about the Elysian airship following the response I received. What? So, the Elysian Air Force was actually modeled off of those cartoonish antibodies. Fact number 2 is that every single person who flies a ship must be certified in skydiving, but you don't have to have a parachute. You just need to know how to skydive.
You can do it once.
Once. That's all you need. Fun fact 3 is...
Well, you forgot after you asked Kerry Sharpoff about his Reddit anime?
Ever since 1972, they've been flying this way because they used to fly in bird formation. The V was just not working out. They were not about the V. The following is a diagram denoting some of the finer aspects in the design of the Elysian airship. Yes, so as I talked about before, the spokes were mostly just an aesthetic thing. They thought, don't these look badass? And then Ironwood said, fuck yeah, put as many as possible on. The second arrow is pointing towards the docking area, and that's showing, see, this is where you dock in the docking area. And then the third arrow is actually pointing. You can't see it because he's really small. It is someone doing their first endless skydive. Okay. So, you know, why limit ourselves? Just one. Okay, Bumblebee. Did you do a thirst trap? Number 1 is the cargo airship manned by the man who says, Lancers, freaking Lancers. As many of you know, he did meet his untimely demise. So yes, cargo airship. Thank you for watching the top 5 ships in RWBY.